Ladies and gentlemen, cats and kittens, boys and girls, I'm Carbonor. Welcome to my channel. I hope all is warm and well in your world today. Things are not so bad here. Not so bad here. So, I was able to log on and do all this shit right here. I would have done it yesterday during the stream, but I knew it was going to be more complicated and I didn't want to look like an idiot. Because I'm not always very technologically capable, but I got it done. I picked the style side. So, and the style side it looks like it's about 70% style and about 30%. What was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah. So everybody wants the outfits and the makeup. It's quite clear to me. And I can't say that I blame them. You know, that other shit you can grind for. You can grind for the catalyst. You can grind for the core. Good morning, Rick. You can grind for all that shit, but you can't grind for exclusive cosmetic items that are only available through the event. So that's clearly why everybody is focusing on style. Oh, look, there's a... Hello, me. Yeah, that's what I picked was team style. So I'm all signed up and ready to go, and I did a couple. I hadn't done. There were two things that I hadn't done. Yeah, younger me. There were two things that I hadn't done for the dailies yesterday, and I logged on real quick and knocked those out. And afterwards, I figured out the whole thing. Before I figured out the whole thing, and then I knocked those out. So I gained some. Some of them. I got 150. No, I had 1,150 because I bought the Sharon hair. It's all coming back to me now. You would think it wasn't just a few hours ago, but it was. But it was. And I think, what is it? Is it Sunday? Is it Sunday when we collect the rewards for the week for it? I believe. Yeah, I think it is. Rick says I forgot. And then laughs and says I'm old. I hear you. I hear you. Yes, coffee is life. Life is coffee.
Descendant, the enemy has modified the Ancestor's weapon with Vulgus technology and are using it to emit inversion energy. It appears they are defending the gate with it. The weapon contains ancient arcane. The structure on the ground falls and releases this. Descendant, I will show you the properties of the arcane stored within the weapon. You can disconnect the energy link using your own arcane.
Rick says you're not even worried about those guys anymore. No, this is true. Yeah, I only mess with them when they get too close, or too, you know, because if they stand on it with me, it won't do the thing. It won't go ding. Yeah, just every once in a while, just be like, hey, back up now, hold on.
Descendant, the enemy commander is using the inversion energy as a personal barrier. We must find a device with the same arcade property. You need to attack this device from above to penetrate the inversion energy.
All right. Yeah, I was fucking getting so many time shards yesterday because I had to do one of that special operation at the fortress, you know, and just it was just like time shard, time shard, time shard, time shard, time shard, time shard. I was like, damn.
Descendant, the enemy has modified the Ancestor's weapon with Vulgus technology and are using it to emit inversion energy. It appears they are defending the gate with it.
I don't know if the RNG gods were just being really good to me or what, but yeah, dude, they were just constantly popping up.
You can disconnect the energy link using your own arcade.
Rick says it's on average. And, you know, some stuff resets weekly. Like what, the percentages or something? Is there somebody? Oh, no, it's already done. Okay.
Descendant, the enemy commander is using the inversion energy as a personal barrier. We must find a device with the same arcade property. You need to attack that device from above to penetrate the inversion energy.
It will have a W on what resets. What? What resets? Oh, the items. Some stuff is on a one-time buy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure what you were talking about. I was like, what is he talking about? I see. Ninja Bob. Oh, yeah. This is Friday, isn't it? I'm happy that I've amassed quite a collection of those. 10. That makes me happy, knowing that I can miss 10 days if something were to happen and still come back and be like, oh no. Okay. Do I have anything? No, I already restarted the research. Okay. Already restarted. Dooby-doo, dooby-doo. More money. Step aside for the Ice Queen, Rick says. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start playing with the photo mode more.
Descendant, this is a phase separation veil, which uses inversion energy. It has a large output, which requires processing of tens of billions of units of data.
I wish you could like add people in. Like it'd be awesome if you went into photo mode and you had whatever character that you were currently using, but at the same time you could add in like the other ones as well. Because I would love to do a group shot of all my characters all together. That'd be fucking awesome. Other than having to like Photoshop everything and cut and paste and all that bullshit, it'd be so much easier if you just let us do that. That'd be cool. Or the photo mode, and the only thing visible would be like the character you're playing as. You know, the background wouldn't be there. It would just be like a plain background. And I know they kind of do that with you can do that sort of with the emotes when you test out the emotes in your customize area. I couldn't think of what it was called there. What? Rick said, I saw Blair move aside when you were walking by. He knows who's in charge. He knows who's in charge. And he says, I just called my friends together. We did a Halloween maid dance off. I have pictures. We also did a swimming and bounce party. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I just think it would be neat to have,
The enemy commander is using the
to put together, a little thumbnail of all my girls, like in a casual kind of, almost like a yearbook style cop photo. Like, here's my team kind of thing, Do it again. I don't really, I'm trying to think, I don't really have any topics to rant about today. I was watching political stuff all day long, so anything that I might start ranting about in that regard would probably get me kicked off YouTube. So I'll avoid that. Because sometimes I get really angry when it comes to politics. Politics, I can talk in a general term though. Politics has always been like, and I know there are some of us out there who say this, but politics to me, I look at it like some people look at sports, you know? I know the teams, I know the players on the teams, I know the star players on the teams, I know, you know, their plays, I know how the game is run. So I very much do look at it as my politics, or as my sports. Like I can remember when I was a little kid in my neighborhood, like my house was just down the hill from my mom's parents' house, right? They were just up the hill from us, and just below our house was my aunt's house. Across the street from her and further down the road were cousins of mine. Literally, there was like about a half-a-mile section of the road that I grew up on that was just my family. They were in some way related to me. It was crazy how we all just decided to settle on this one road. But there were a lot of like older women who lived in the neighborhood. And when I was like 5 years old or so, because back then a 5-year-old could walk alone down his road and not have fear that he would be picked up by some pedophile. You know, a kid, when I was fucking like 12 or 13, me and my friend would get on our fucking 10 speeds and we would ride fucking 10 miles to go to the mall and spend all day there and then come home just before it was getting dark. And our parents never worried where the fuck we were at all. They never had any concern. They didn't even know where the fuck we were. We would just get on our bikes and go, and then we would eventually be home. That's the way things were when I was a kid. So I would be like 5 years old, and I would be hanging out with the old women in my neighborhood, you know, going over there, reading the USA Today, eating Fig Newtons, and drinking coffee at 5 years of age, and worrying about shit, you know, worrying about the state of the world and worrying about, you know, just everything. So it's always been something that I have been into and concerned about. But politics today is a different animal than what it's supposed to be. You know, it was never intended by our founding fathers that a career politician, they would have hung. anybody who even fucking suggested, oh, I'm a career politician, our founding fathers would have literally hung them and been like, no, you're not. There's no such thing. Your job is to just hop from office to office? No, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. You know, it's being a politician is supposed to be something that you have something, you have a belief, or you have an idea or some kind of solution to something, and you say, hey, vote for me, I will fix this. And you get into office and you work at fixing it or do the best that you can, and then when you're done, you go the fuck back home to your real life, to your real job, and continue your life from there. That's what politics is supposed to be. The very fact that there are people who go to college and plan out, I'm going to become, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to become a lieutenant, governor or assistant mayor. Then I'm going to become like the DA. Then I'll become the mayor. Then I'm going to move up to the governor. Then I'm going to become a congressman. Then I want to do Senate. And maybe if I'm not too old, I'll run for president. You know what I'm saying? That should not exist. That should not happen ever. That should not be a thing. I don't just believe in term limits. I believe you get 2 terms throughout your entire life. Now, if you want to run for mayor, then that's 1. And then you decide to run for president, you don't get to run for a second term because you used your first term as a mayor. I firmly believe that that's the way it should be. Politics is not something that people should be allowed to get settled in and make a fucking fortune on. It should be something that you are there for a fucking purpose. When your purpose is done, you go the fuck home and let somebody else come in. I'm even almost to the point, and I've said this many times in my life, that I believe that it should be like jury duty. I believe you should just randomly, you get a fucking letter in the mail that says, hey, you're president now. And you're like, God damn it. Okay, I guess. I firmly believe that's the way it should be. It should be average motherfucking people. Average fucking people. As it was intended to be. When you think of our founding fathers, they were not politicians. These were farmers. These were hunters. These were fucking, just regular fucking people who found themselves in an extraordinary situation and were thrust into leadership and had to fucking accept it. They had to sacrifice. But the average person doesn't care, says Rick. Yeah, I know. There's safeguards that you could put into it. There's safeguards. Like perhaps, I don't know. Again, these are all things that could be figured out. Where was there a glade with a dog? Is that the one that took off running? I mean, other people can have a dog with glay. Because that's their glay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me again. I had burritos not long ago, so. And I'm getting to that point in my life where I'm realizing that, yes, there are things that I enjoy eating that fuck me up. And I don't care. I'm going to keep right on fucking eating them. Just like I guess you're just gonna have to suffer, buddy. Rick says your glade doesn't like dogs, Mr. C. This is true. This is true. Yeah, I mean, I hate the saying, but you do only live once. You do only live once. And I would rather, eat stuff that I enjoy eating than to fucking eat a dry, unseasoned, you know, not cooked in oil, you know, seared piece of fucking plain bland chicken with some broccoli and some rice. Fuck you, I'm not eating that. Now, you want to pour some brown sauce on it, like, and throw in some mushrooms. Maybe you put a little batter on that fucking piece of chicken. Then we can talk. But I'm, you know, I can understand people who want to eat healthy, but you're still gonna die. No matter how healthy you eat, you're still gonna fucking die. You're not gonna stop it. You know, okay, maybe eating that chicken, broccoli, and rice is gonna postpone your life, your death, maybe by a year or two. You're still gonna die, and you could still just as easily walk outside your house and a fucking meteor land on your fucking head. And you're gonna go into the afterlife thinking, goddamn, it's been 15 years since I had a cheeseburger. Why would you want to do that? They will die hungry and unsatisfied. Yes. Rick says, I will die fat and happy. Indeed. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky when it comes to that because, you know, I mentioned that I used to be overweight back, like growing up throughout my life. I was overweight up until I graduated high school and got a real job, a nighttime job, as I mentioned, and I just didn't have time to eat anymore, and it just went away. So I really believe that I was like a skinny person trapped in a fat person's body, and all I had to do was like get just, you know, melted away to like almost like that Kinder, you know, those Kinder eggs. You gotta crack it open and pour out the yolk, and there's a toy inside. That was kind of me. I was a skinny person in a fat person's body. I had to tear away the fat part because ever since then, my metabolism, I can eat whatever the fuck I want, and I just don't gain weight. I don't, you know. So I know that I am extremely lucky in that regard. But yeah, I eat whatever the fuck I want. If I'm eating pizza, I'm probably gonna eat. If you take me to a buffet, a pizza buffet, Jesus Christ, I can eat about 3 fucking pizzas. If you give me free pizza, I'm gonna eat so much fucking pizza. Yeah, I broke my body, he says. Yeah, it don't know. It was just like, we don't know what to do with this anymore. It's the same kind of. I used to tell people that I made an agreement with my hair a long time ago that I don't give a shit what it does as long as it don't fall out. I must have made some kind of agreement with my body too. Look, I'm gonna eat whatever I want, and you can just deal with it. And it was like, okay. But also, part of what helps that is my job, the fact that I'm a cook and I work in like a 300-degree kitchen, and I'm on my feet for 8 hours a day, constantly fucking moving. So, you know, that helps a lot. I don't have like a desk job, so that does help a lot. I get more than enough exercise just going to work 5 days a week. But yeah, I remember I used to work with one guy when the first the first Hooters I worked at. Which, let me just as a side note here, let me just tell you something about working at Hooters. It is not all it's cracked up to be. Let me tell you right now. I describe it to people like this. It's like, imagine having about 30 little sisters, and they're all pissed off at you all the time, and you don't know why. I said, that's what it's like working as a dude in the kitchen at a Hooters. And something I would always tell the new guys was, let me explain something to you. They are not going to fuck you. Okay? Just do your job. They are not going to fuck you. But this one guy that I worked with, you know, he was always worried about his weight and eating right and healthy and all this other shit. And he was always controlling it, and I was like, yeah, you know what I do? I said, I don't really eat all day long. I nibble on French fries here and there, and then I get home and I eat my weight in food. And then I go to bed. And he was like, man, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work for you. And I was like, it's been working for many years. Because he was very jealous, because he said if he did that, he would end up weighing like 400 pounds. I was like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's in the same way that I'm a smoker. I smoke about a pack a day. And yes, oh my God, I talked about smoking. Holy shit. There's probably, you know, some orphan somewhere dying because I mentioned the word cigarette. I'm sorry. Rick, I can't see the whole message right now. Hold on. But yeah, I'm a smoker. I don't really exercise, like I said, other than my job. And every time I ever have my vital signs taken for any reason, they are always all perfect. They are always perfect. Oh. Rick said, thanks a lot. You made me cry. My Hooters dream is gone. Yeah. Everybody who don't work at a Hooters thinks that if you work there, that you're like getting blowjobs in the fucking cooler by these bitches, and that's not. Nope. That's not the way it works. Now, if you're a customer and you got money, oh yeah. But if you work there, they know how much you make, and it ain't enough. So if you want to fuck Hooters girls working in the kitchen at a Hooters, you better sell drugs. That's the only carve out. If you sell drugs, you can probably fuck a Hooters girl if you work in the kitchen at a Hooters. That's it. There's Rick says, I was studying to be a legal drug dealer, a pharmacist. I had a roommate who was wanting to do that for that very reason. He was wanting to make his own LSD. So he was like, I'm going to be a pharmacist. I was like, okay, sounds like a plan to me. Me and that guy ate a lot of acid together. But between my like 20s and nearly to my 30s, I lived with a group of guys. We all worked together, and one day we were just like, "Hey, let's just get a fucking place together." We were like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." So we all got a place together, and we were just always fucking high, always fucking eating acid. Like, I have eaten my share of acid. I've eaten your share of acid. I've eaten everybody else's share of acid. I have eaten so much acid that I have no doubt it has permanently altered my fucking brain. I don't get flashbacks really though. My dad was in the Vietnam War and he ate acid when it was, you know, when it was potent. And he said he got flashbacks all the time, but I've never really had flashbacks. But yeah, that's what his dream was, to be a pharmacist. He was in school for it. I think he ended up being an Applebee's manager though, which is kind of sad. To waste all that money and then just end up being a fucking Applebee's manager. But yeah, dude, one of our favorite things to do would be to just eat a fuck ton of acid and then go to theme parks and ride roller coasters. Let me tell you what, you've never experienced a roller coaster if you've never experienced it on acid. you don't know anything about a roller coaster unless you've been tripping balls. It is a totally different experience. The only bad part about going to theme parks on acid is standing in the lines. Because we had to wear sunglasses. We couldn't take our sunglasses off, because you could tell by looking at us that we were on something. So we had to keep our sunglasses on. We couldn't really look at each other, because if we looked at each other, if you're in a crowd of people who aren't tripping with somebody who is tripping, and you look at them, if you look at each other, you are going to just explode in laughter. It's because it's like you're in on an in joke and nobody else knows about, nobody knows what the fuck it is. So you can't look at each other. So crazy shit is happening around you. People are saying things and you're like, oh, goddamn, I can't look at anybody. But, oh my God, getting on those rides and just everything suddenly just melts, and it's like going into light speed on the Millennium Falcon. Suddenly everything just goes whoosh. It's, it's crazy. It's so much fun though. So much fucking fun. Don't do acid, kids. Like that's gonna keep you from it. Don't mention words or kids will just start doing it. Yeah, because kids have never just started doing shit on their own before. That's never happened. They have to be told about shit. Yeah, they're not just constantly looking for shit to get into. Yeah. Rick says, my dad told me to try everything once. Yeah. I mean, to a degree, that's not a bad thing. I mean, I wouldn't like say, heroin or crack. I wouldn't say to try those once. But acid's not addictive. It's not something that you can take. I mean, We did it all the time because it was just fun. It was just fun for us. It's not, we weren't addicted to anything. It was just fucking so much fun. But yeah, I firmly believe with your dad when it comes to acid. Everybody should trip at least once in their life, just so you have the knowledge that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you know, you're thinking, what do you mean knowledge that comes with it? When you eat acid, you see patterns, you see cycles, you see connections that you never would have seen had you never taken acid, had you just lived your life and constantly been sober. And I guess you could say the same thing for DMT or ayahuasca, or mushrooms or something like that. It takes you outside of who you are and shows you things on an objective level, outside of your own brain and outside of your own personal experience, I guess. You know, you don't have that bias. It lets you see stuff without that. And it's really important that people be able to do that, but especially with a lot of people these days and a lot of young people these days. It's like, you don't the world doesn't fucking revolve around you. Okay? I know that's hard to believe. I've often joked in my life that, and told people, like, I really hate it that I don't want to die, because when I die, all of this goes away. And, as in everybody else and everything is just all in my head, and when I die, it all goes away. But I never actually believed that the universe revolved around me. It was just a joke. But I swear to God, there's a whole generation of people who literally believe that. Who literally believe that they are their own fucking universe. No, you're not. You're not. You are not. You don't mean shit. You're just a fucking cog in a wheel that keeps on rolling after you go away. You know? Just because, oh yeah, I've seen them too, dude. I work in a restaurant, so that, when you work in a restaurant, the kitchen staff usually are older straight men, and the front of house staff is usually either young women or young gay dudes. In most of the restaurants that I've worked, aside from Hooters, that's been the way it was. It's so, yeah, I see them all the time. I overhear them all the time talking about shit, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you are so stupid. You are so fucking stupid. You're so stupid you don't even know how stupid you are. Your view of the world and is just so absolutely infantile that it goes beyond ridiculous. When you say we should do something about the homeless problem, and the answer is, well, we need to build more houses. Well, yeah, that just sounds so fucking simple, doesn't it? Doesn't it just sound simple? Well, we need more houses. Oh, there's an empty house. Just put somebody in it. Well, we can't. Why not? Well, who owns that house? Is it rent? Is it decrepit? Is it got basic amenities? Does it have fucking power? Does it have water? You can't just be like, oh, well, there's a building, throw some people in it. It would be wonderful if the world was as simple as that, as you could just take the ideas of a 5-year-old that are just so fucking cut and dry. Just like, well, when we need more, then build a house. Well, who's going to build it? With what money? Where do we get the materials? These are all things that you have to ask. Well, if they're starving people, let's just give them food. Who's going to give them food? Where does it come from? Who's going to sacrifice in the place of that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, everybody should just have free health care. There's no such thing as free. Somebody is paying for it. In the end, somebody is paying for this shit. Nothing is free in this world. Somebody had to make it. Somebody had to pack it. Somebody had to transport it. Somebody had to put it on the shelf. You know, somebody has to ring it up. Somebody has to put it in a bag and take it to your car. You know, there's nothing is simple. It would be a wonderful world if it was, but utopia is not. Utopia, the very definition of utopia is something that can't exist. It's not possible. And there's so many of these fucking kids who've been coddled by their parents and told that you're perfect and you're beautiful and everything is great and nothing you do is ever wrong, and they've grown up. They haven't grown up. They've just gotten older. And this coming from somebody who's a fucking sufferer of the Peter Pan syndrome. Peter Pan syndrome, if some of you don't know, is basically a dude who stays forever a teenager, which is essentially what I am. I'm a 50-year-old dude. I play video games. I collect comic books and toys. You know what I'm saying? I have posters of hot women on my walls. I suffer from. I don't suffer. I mean, I don't suffer from it. So I don't really. That's not really the appropriate word. I guess I just have it. My dad always told me when I was younger, he was like, "You're gonna grow out of all that shit," and I'd just be like, "Oh, okay, whatever you say." Whatever you say. I think they used to call people like me perpetual bachelors. But bachelor seems to be a word that doesn't really exist anymore. I don't know if a lot of young people even know what the word bachelor means. They know bachelorette because it's that stupid fucking show. But yeah, it's a bachelor, just a dude who doesn't want to get married, who's not really worried about necessarily dating or fucking, you know, they're just like, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna do my thing. If somebody comes along and wants to do it with me, that'd be awesome, but I'm not gonna fucking hold my breath and wait for it. And I'm not gonna settle for somebody that's going to expect me to change, because I've said this before, never in any relationship I've ever gone into with a woman have I ever expected them to change a single thing about themselves. Not who their friends were, not how they dressed, not, you know, what their job was, nothing. I've just always accepted them as they were, and would be like, as long as you're okay with the way I am, we'll be golden. But the problem has always been, they don't want to accept me the way I am. Every woman I've ever dated, every single one has seen me as a work in progress. And honey, I'm done. The bread is baked. I am done. There's no changing the recipe now. This motherfucker is finished. You know, and I like the 40-year-old version. I hate that movie. I truly. Girls want to change, guys, says Rick. Yes, exactly. You hook up with a woman, what happens? You're the one that has to give up your house. You are the one that has to give up your furniture. You are the one that has to give up your possessions. You are the one that has to give up choice of what your fucking living room looks like. You don't get a say in any of it. And that's just expected. Fuck that. Fuck that. Your chair doesn't match my couch. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm not getting rid of my couch, bitch. Or my chair. Yeah, that's all they want to do. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like your hair. I don't like the things that you do. I don't like your hobbies. Then why the fuck are you with me? What about me did you look at and say, yes, I like that? Because from what you're saying, nothing about me do you like. If you want to completely change who the fuck I am, what was there in the first place that you were like, yeah, he's alright looking, I could probably make him better. Fuck you! Challenge, Rick says. Yeah, that must be what it is. I'm gonna completely change this guy into what I think I want, and then I'm gonna go cheat on him because I'm not interested in him anymore. That's usually the way that story goes. Rick says, yep. Zen Speeds 55. Welcome to the channel, sir. You're a new name I haven't seen before. I'm Carbonor. Hope all is warm and well in your world today. He says, I can fix her, him. Yep. That's what they think. But when they fix it, they realize that's not what they wanted. You know? And then they want to trade you in for a new model that they can do the same thing to, and then be unhappy with that one and trade it in. It's like they keep wanting to re-roll. Like, no. I mean, I don't hate women. I mean, you know, I've never had the mentality, the dating type mentality. I've had girlfriends. I have had girlfriends that were willing to accept who I was, and just for one stupid reason or another, it never worked out. But those were few and far between. Like, I can remember one that I regret. One that I regret not actually staying with. And I think it was because of my own hang-ups and my own fixation on another girl that ended up ruining what I mean, she probably was the one that I should have been with. But, you know, much, you know, it's one of those grass is always greener type situations. I was too wrapped up in my own, you know, unrequited love to recognize what was in front of my face. It's a classic Hollywood story. Classic Hollywood story. Except I didn't have the scene at the end where you run into the air kind of thing, you know. Dark Mr. C. Yeah, I told you, dude. But, you know what? I can say that every relationship, you know, I learned shit from them. I learned shit from these relationships. I learned something from every girl who tried to fucking say that I wasn't good enough. You know, which is essentially what they're saying. When they say you need to change, they're telling you that you're not good enough. And you know what? Like Stuart Smalley said, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. I've never understood the reason why people would accept that. Why it's just standard thing that you have to give up as a man, that you have to give all of these things up, all of these things that you enjoy to be with a woman, yet they don't have to ever give up a goddamn thing. I don't understand how where and when that became the standard. Perhaps it was TV. Perhaps TV had a large component to that. You know. I don't know. Again, I'm not misogynistic. I don't consider it misogynistic. I consider it realistic. You know, again, I can't say that. Can't say that. there's shit. God damn. Sometimes I'd like. There's a lot of shit that I'd like to say sometimes. But I know goddamn well that so much of it would be used against me if somebody happened to stumble upon my channel and be like, wait a minute, he smells like a conservative. I'm gonna find something in his 1100 videos that I can fucking tell YouTube that he's a bad guy about. And they'll get him canceled, and all the work that he's put in for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years will all go away. You know what I'm saying? But you know, again, all my life, except for my 3 very best friends in high school and in my early 20s, all my life, everybody I knew, everybody I considered a friend, were all left-leaning, Democratic-type people. And they accepted me, and I accepted them. We just had different views on the world. That was it. But it didn't make any of us good or bad people. It was just, you know, you think this, I think that. You prefer the color green, I prefer the color black. You know, you prefer Fords, I prefer Chevys. You know, that kind of thing. Politics used to really be like that. It really used to be like that. That it was no different than what kind of fucking car you preferred or what kind of fucking game system you preferred. It wasn't a reason to be like, I despise that person like it is now. Politics used to be something that did not absolutely consume every fucking second of your goddamn waking life. You know, you didn't have to fucking watch something and be like, okay, I need to know the political leanings of every actor in this movie, every writer on the thing, before I can say whether or not I liked it. What kind of world is that to fucking live in? Now I can't say in the same regard that nowadays I don't do the same thing, because for the last 10 years there's been a whole lot of actors that I grew up really liking and admiring that have wished death on me or called me a fucking Nazi because I'm a Republican. And you can only take that so many times before you lose the ability to see them as a character and not the person who just said that you need to be sent to a concentration camp because the way you think is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So now I do. Now I do. I am selective in what I watch and what I hear and even listen to and everything else, because I remember what you motherfuckers said. I remember what you motherfuckers said when I said I'm not taking your goddamn COVID shot. And you said that I shouldn't ever get medical treatment ever again. I remember what you fucking said. I remember the things that you fucking called me. When I said, you know, that's not the way masks work. And y'all called me, oh, fuck you. You shouldn't be allowed to speak if you're going to speak against the government. Wear your fucking mask. Take these 27 different fucking booster shots. Don't worry about mitochondritis. I can't even say the word. Don't worry about, you know, all the medical things that are now happening with this fucking thing, because it was a completely experimental fucking vaccine that they fucking concocted in about 6 goddamn months, when every other fucking medication that we ever fucking make takes about 15 fucking years of study and testing before they put it on the goddamn market. Yeah. I remember all those things. And I'm not gonna give you my $7 or $14 fucking dollars to see your fucking movie and support your fucking career, asshole. Sorry. No offense. Now, if you took the COVID shot because you had to, you know, and I don't blame people, because goddamn, they told you it was the fucking end of the world. They told you that you were practically gonna motherfucking die if you didn't take that shit. And some people take stuff like that fucking seriously. Some people, when it's coming from a source that's supposed to be knowledgeable and expert on something, they want to believe it. They don't want to believe that those people would lie to them for political reasons. But they lied to you for political reasons. They got you to take God knows how many fucking injections of something that they have no idea what the side effects are going to be on. It's not just a typical vaccine. It fucks with your DNA. That's what RNA fucking vaccine is. It fucks with your DNA. We have not yet seen the full repercussions of what that is going to do to people. And we may not for another 10 to 15 years. We're seeing it, though. We're seeing fucking 20-year-olds just drop fucking dead of heart attacks. That's not supposed to happen. My fucking aunt took every booster they fucking told her to. She developed a form of leukemia that only children are supposed to get. No adult person is supposed to get the form of leukemia that she got. And she got it, and it killed her within a few months. Those are the ramifications of that. And you know what the worst thing is? Nobody is going to be held accountable for it. None of those politicians are going to be held accountable for going on the news every night and telling you that you do not deserve to have a job, you do not deserve to go out in public, you do not deserve to have a house or health care if you do not take this medicine that we demand you take. Nobody is going to be held accountable for that. And that fills me with a fucking rage that I can't even explain what that fills me with. You know, there used to be a law that politicians weren't allowed to lie. That they would be held accountable and could be prosecuted and thrown out of office for deliberately, knowingly lying to the American people. And they did away with that law, I think, back in the 80s. And now we get what we get. Now we have what we have. Now we have what we have. I didn't mean to get on this rant. It's, you know, I didn't mean to get on this rant. I don't know how the fuck I got to that either. I know how I got to it. Because like I said, I was watching political shit before this. Hey, Uchi. Yeah. Excuse me. That's not what I meant to do. Back out of that. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just an old man yelling at the sky. Let's give Freyna some action. Rick says, Uchi says, I'm here for you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate, because you guys, you know, you just stumbled upon my channel and you were like, you know what? I kind of like this guy's style of crazy. I'm gonna stick around and see what he gets up to, and I appreciate that. I do. Yeah, I really do.
Descendant, we've been waiting for you. Our soldiers have suffered extensive casualties while holding off the enemy onslaught. These resources were seized from the enemy fortress. They must be transported safely to Albion.
Go, doggy, go. Where's the damn thing?
My shield.
And Rick says, you're yelling at the screen, and I hear you. Yeah, that was, I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I yell at the screen a lot.
This is your grave. Melt away.
Zen Speed says, I've never seen this one. Kind of reminds me of Lost Planet. You've never seen the First Descendant? It's a really good game. It gets a bad rap because you know, the developers appreciate let's say attractive women. So it gets a bad rap. I mean, as you can see, look at the outfit that she's wearing. This is clearly a game that is like, yeah, we like hot girls. It's a lot of fun to play. It's free to play too. It is absolutely 100% free to play, and there's no pay to win. All the stuff that you can like buy stuff to like increase the speed of research and stuff like that, but you can't just you know, directly buy stuff that's going to get you you know, to the top of the food chain like a lot of games. It's just mostly it's a lot like Fortnite in that way.
Watch your feet.
It's mostly about cosmetics, you know. Yeah. Rick says Mr. C will help you if you get stuck. More like you guys. But we are, yeah, the guys that chat here are very helpful as far as this game goes. They're very friendly. They're more than willing to help out new people. And as am I, you know, I will offer what limited advice that I can give you. But yeah, dude, I highly encourage you to check it out. It is free to play. Costs you nothing. And it's cross-platform, Xbox, computer, and PlayStation. Oh, damn it. And you know, you're gonna see me on Zen Speed. You're gonna see me only playing with female characters, but there are some cool male figures, some cool designs and armor sets for them as well. If that's more your thing, I just prefer to look at hot chicks. I'm a very shallow child of the 80s in that way. He's like, stop it. But you know, I was that way like long ago, back in the days, you know, of early PlayStation, fuck, back in the Super Nintendo and shit. I preferred playing as female characters in fighting games because, you know, guys always underestimate female characters in a fighting game, and they're always faster, and you can usually fuck up the big guys with a faster character, like Chun-Li and June from Tekken 2. My God, I could work absolute magic with fucking June in Tekken 2. I could get 10-hit combos every fucking time I touched the button. It got to the point I would sit around with my roommates playing Tekken 2, and you know, when you got a group of guys and you're playing a fighting game, how it goes. You know, you've got two controllers, and the controller goes around the room from one person to next, and you keep the controller as long as you're winning. And literally, the controller would come to me and stop for hours, and I would just be sitting there. It would get to the point to where people were only interested in making sure that I didn't get a perfect victory. That, you know, that was their goal. That was like, if I can stop you from getting a perfect victory, I think I've done something. And I'd be like, oh, okay, that's fine. Rick says if I have to look at someone's butt for an hour or more. Where to say? Okay, hold on. I'm losing track of the chat. Hold on. Let me get rid of these chumps, or at least enough of them. Okay. Try for free. Mr. C will help you get. Nice. I'm in, says Zen Speed. Awesome. We've converted another one to the First Descendant. Fantastic. Rick's laughing at me running that guy over. Need more speed. Yeah, to do that, yeah. Yeah, I use June and then Asuka for endless hit combos, Zen Speed says. Oh, my brother. Then you know. That fucking move that June would do where she would like start a punch and then she would like spin around so it was almost like a delayed punch. Nobody I ever fucking played against could escape that. Nobody could escape that because they would always misjudge it. You would throw that, the fist would go out and they would be like, oh, he's swinging, and it's like, nope, trick. Yeah, it was there was a time when I would be sitting at my house, you know, some of my roommates would be like, we're gonna go hang out with these other people, and I'd be like, all right, cool, and they'd go hang out with them, and then I'd be just hanging out at the house, and the phone would ring, and I'd go pick up the phone, and they'd be like, some dude's over here talking shit about Mortal Kombat, get over here and kick his ass, and I'd be like, I'm on my way. Those were the fucking days. Those were the days. Yeah, you know then Zen Speed, you know the magic of June. And did they ever bring her back? Wasn't that like the only game she was in? And then you just had Jin, her fucking son? I was just like, what kind of shit is this? Although I did get pretty good with Eddie Guerrero because he had a lot of not Eddie Guerrero, that's the wrestler. What's his name? Eddie, the Muay Thai guy. You know, the dance fighter. Because he had a similar style in that it was really hard for people to anticipate when the actual strike was coming in. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Rick said she died. That's fucking right. Yes. But still, why? Why? Ooh. That's kind of cool. Yeah, June Kazama died. Yeah. I remember that now. I remember that now that you've said it. But why? Why did she didn't have to? I mean, it's not like she was real. They could have just made her not die. She did not have plot armor, Rick says. Yeah, I suppose not. I suppose not. She was a tricky character to play. You know, it's you couldn't just pick up June and start doing her shit like you could a lot of people. But I played fighting games, especially Tekken, in a completely different way than most people. I would hold the controller, with my left hand for the movements and stuff, but I would do the buttons with my fingers instead of with my thumb. So I was way fucking faster than anybody else was. Way fucking faster. So I could get that 10 hit combo off just like blah, 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 blah. I don't necessarily say that that's cheating because who says what is the right way to hold a controller, you know? I mean, if you wanted to do the right stick trigger or the right trigger with your knee, you could do that. It's like people who drive cars with their knees. Don't be jealous just because you can't. Wait, that's not where I need to go. This is where I need to go. Of course it would be. Love the way she just casually looks at her gun while everything is just exploding around her. Zen Speed says, I like this character. I can see how her outfit would assist with her mobility. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of them with outfits like that. This isn't actually what she looks like naturally. This is one of the outfits that you can buy for. This one you can use for any of the female characters. Some of them are specific to particular characters, but this one is one of the ones that's open for everybody. Let's see. This is what she actually wears. Not with the red hair. She's got black hair. Well, actually, hold on. I can do it this way. This is what she normally looks like. But I kind of prefer her looking like that. Lord, he says. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you right now, those Koreans, they don't give a fuck. They want to see hot women in their games. And I am on board with it. Yeah, I don't. How many did you say? Did you say 31, Rick? Is that how many characters altogether, male and female, there are? 31. But like almost half of them are like ultimate versions. Because there's 2 different versions of every character that you can unlock. You know, you can unlock them all by grinding too. You don't have to buy them or anything. You can just, grind for the resources and you can unlock them. But yeah, there's a regular version and then an ultimate version. And the ultimate version is only not a great deal more powerful than the regular version. But yeah, I've 12 girls, Rick says. And that includes the ultimate version? 12 different girls. Yes, okay, right. And they're pretty smoking. I mean, you look at a game like this and Stellar Blade and you're like, yeah, I fully support Korean video games. I mean, it's not something that is essential to me to play a video game that it's got hot women in it. But it's gonna help. You know, I mean, one of my favorite series of games of all time is Uncharted series, and that's not about a chick. Another one of my favorite series of all time is the first 3 God of Wars. I mean, yeah, he does. There's some naked women in it, and he does, fuck some of them. But that's just a tiny little percentage of what happens in those games. Final Fantasy. Well, no, they got some waifus in Final Fantasy. I guess I can't really use that as an example. One of my all-time waifus, above all others, is Lulu from Final Fantasy X. That character is my fucking dream woman. What'd you say, Rick? Go to my... What now? "12 girls, different. Frame a goth chick. Show the character. Go to your inventory real quick." Which character? The original, the regular Freyna? Oh, show the characters. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can do that. This is Freyna. My version or the real version? What? In inventory. Preset? Is that what you're meaning? Or are you meaning here?
Do as I say, if you want to live.
What do you... Oh, okay. Here, right? This thing. Yes, this is my Freyna, as I've modified her. She deals with poison, so I wanted to make her very bright and colorful. You know, so she looks like a walking biohazard. But oh, wrong one. But this is my girl. This is Viessa. She has ice powers. Yeah. This is my girl. Like a haha, like a dark frog. Dark frog, Zen Speed says. Yeah, basically. That was my thing, like one of those very colorful toads. That was my inspiration. And then this is Sharon. Yeah, they may have they could tune down the jiggle physics a little bit. They shouldn't be quite so jelly like. And then this is Glay. She's kind of like a... Sharon is electric. She's got electric base powers. Glay is kind of like a berserker slash vampire sort of character. Why would you want to turn off the physics? This is Nail. She has like gravitational powers. This is Serena. She has fire-based powers and she can fly. She's the only one who can fly. Typically she has wings, but I prefer to not have wings because when she uses her abilities, the wings come out anyway. So I prefer to just be walking around normal. And then this is Luna. She has like weird music-based powers that I haven't really started playing as her yet. But I've got her outfitted the way I want her to. This is Bunny. She also has electric-based powers, but she is a like super speed type person. And then this is Haley. I haven't really done anything to customize her look yet, other than just to recolor her outfit. So this is essentially the base. Well, that's what she looks like when you get her. And then this is Valby. She's a water-based character. This is Inez. She's electric-based. Yeah, she's electric-based. And then these are other versions. They had two cross-promotional things. They had one with Nier Automata and one with Bayonetta so far. So this is those outfits. And then here's the dudes who I know nothing about. This is Ajax? Yeah. Jaber? No. Is it Jaber? Who is this? See, I don't know any of the dudes. Because I'm not playing this game for the dudes. Let's be real. But you know that some of them are cool designs. You could repaint them. Then some of these dudes' outfits, like both of these, if you repainted them like black and chrome, that'd be pretty awesome. This dude, I would play as this guy right here if his hair was down to his ass. If he had long hair, I would abso-fucking-lutely play with this guy right here. Because I have long hair and wear a trench coat. And I could easily see myself recoloring his outfit and playing as him. I also have a beard, so I would be fully on board if his hair was down to his. Games don't ever do. They don't ever give dudes long hair. You know what they do? They consider long hair just down to the shoulders, and they're like, oh look, that's long hair. No, I want long hair on a dude that looks like fucking this right here. I'll show you right here. I want long hair on a dude like this. That's what I want. I want Sephiroth length hair on male characters. At least the option. And they will not put that shit into any game. So, yeah. Can you get? Is there a long hair for dudes? I bet there's not. Nope. No long hair for dudes. Very, some of these outfits are very, Space Marine looking. Make a request, yeah? Yeah, I suppose I could do that. I want long hair. Zen Speed says, yeah, I think Korea is not crazy about hair that long on dudes. Well, and nobody is really. I mean, it's not something, because I played a lot of MMOs. I played a lot of, character creation type games, and the majority of them is, the best you'll get is shoulder length. It's probably something to do with the animations. In all honesty, it probably somehow fucks with their back or some shit like that, probably. But you know what? You could fix that. You could fix it. Cause there's dudes in the world that have long hair. I know I'm one of them. But yeah, they did for a free to play game. This game is really exceptionally made. The cutscenes are fucking phenomenal. I mean, they are right there with any AAA game out there, if not better. The story's not bad. All the characters will eventually have their own little side quests and their own little, things that you can do to, to learn about them as people and shit. So, it's worth getting into. This is one of the ones that I don't have yet. This is the ultimate version of Luna, which I'm working on. And this is the brand new character named Harris, which you can take those arms. Well, why aren't the arms coming off? If I buy you and those arms don't come off, I'm gonna be mad. I'm just saying. Or not buy you, but if I unlock you. Rick says, someone said that there's no black guy in this game, and then they put in Keelan. who bears a striking resemblance to Blade. Striking resemblance. There you go. There's basically what all the characters do. Now you have to remember that all these females that I have, these are not their regular outfits. These are outfits that I bought for them. Now that they have some pretty cool outfits for it. Like I said, this is Freyna's normal outfit, and that's not a bad outfit. I don't have VS's normal outfit here. This is Sharon's normal outfit. This is Glay's normal outfit, which is very frumpy. I know it's very bleh. This is what she normally looks like right here, which is kind of hot, really, when you think about it. And I keep getting tempted to go back to that hairstyle, but for now, this is the way I've got her. And Serena, nope, sorry, that's not her. This is her normal outfit. This is Luna's normal outfit. This is Bunny's normal outfit. And this is Balby's normal outfit. Inez's normal outfit. And that's basically it. A lot of cool characters, and you can, there's a lot of options for painting them, and the paints are really fucking cheap. Luna's outfit changes color. Which the normal version or the ultimate version? But only if you use the standard, if you don't customize it.
I don't need an analysis system.
Motherfucker. Oh, really? I did not notice that any of the times that I was playing as her. But that reminds me. When did this come out? That changes depending on her arcade. Because I kind of like those. Does everybody have one of those? No? And her swimming suit too, Rick says. It changed from pink to blue to red. Zen Speed says, would be cool if there was horrible death animations. Oh, there is. Oh, there is. Yeah, this game it gets pretty graphic. So, some of the cut scenes are pretty